In this series, I'm going to discuss how to choose the correct full-on brow pencil color for you and your brows. Number one takeaway is I want you to look at what brow color you are, not what head hair color you are, okay? I quickly just want to give my observation of who I think is what percentage base. I personally think that 70% are split between brown, black, and black. 35% of y'all are brown black, the rest of it is black. That gets us to 70%. Now the 20% is gonna be warm brown, and then the last 10% is gonna be split between ash brown and auburn. And that's just my perception and what I think is best match for people's brow hair color. First, I'm gonna cover our auburn pencil. Good actresses to use an example is Julianne Moore. You can see how rich, vibrant, and more on the red spectrum and auburn spectrum her brows are, and her hair as well. So that does match. Also, Cynthia Nixon is a really good one to use an example for this. It's rich, it's vibrant, it's really warm, it's auburn, or if you have red-ish brows. Another good example is Isla Fisher. However, Isla Fisher can go auburn, or she can go more warm brown if she's looking for something more neutral. You can see the difference in her brows compared to Julianne Moore. They have a little bit more brown to them as opposed to a red to them. Both I think would look great. It just depends on what are you wanting to pull. Are you wanting to pull more of the red? Or are you wanting to pull more of a neutral that has some warmth to it as well? So again, red hair, but she has more brown-ish brows. Next up is warm brown. So one of the reasons why I created these brow products is I felt that every cosmetic brow pencil out there was way too warm. I mean, I thought everyone was walking around with orange brows. They just pulled so much warmth in them. Warm brown to me does have some warmth to it, but it's also still pretty neutral to maybe cosmetic standards that make brow products. It's more neutral, but I do find that warmth can pull really easily, so I didn't want to make it too warm. Warm brown can be used with lighter warm brows, also with darker warm brows. If you're afraid to go to our brown black pencil, maybe start with warm brown and get used to that and see how you like it. That can look beautiful on your brows as well. All right, so who is warm brown? This photo I found of Jessica Biel, I thought she'd be great with warm brown. I also have seen photos of her though where they're darker, and I actually prefer that, and she would move to brown black. If your brows are warm brown, this is the color for you. Also, Amanda Seyfried. She has fair skin, light hair, but her brows are warm brown. They're not as light as her hair, and warm brown would be a perfect match for her. Also, Blake Lively. Again, we're looking at warm brown brows. Not too dark, not too light, but you can see that they are maybe a little bit darker than what you would anticipate if you're out there searching for a pencil. So I do think that warm brown would be perfect for all of these. Okay, next on the docket is ash brown. If you're using ash brown, you're probably not ash brown. I do find that a lot of people are ordering it and that's actually not their correct color when they actually should be moving to brown, black, or black, but I'll get there. Ash brown, in my view, should be sold less than auburn. That is how rare this color is. So who is ash brown? I'm talking about Meryl Streep. In this photo, you can see that her brows are really light and ash and gray. Are those your brows? It's pretty rare to have that. Also, Helen Mirren, again, a little bit darker and a little bit more on the brown side, but they're really light and a little bit more ash than on the warm side. Tilda Swinton, very light, very ash. Even if you were to tint her brows just a little bit darker to make them show up a little bit, she still would be great with ash brown. So we're talking about light hairs that are ash. And if you are gonna buy ash brown, but you really don't match these criterias, please try black. And I promise it won't be too dark. And next go around, I'm gonna rename black so y'all aren't afraid of it. Now we're gonna talk about brown black. Brown black, I think, looks good in so many people who are nervous to try a darker pencil. But whenever you look at your brow hairs, what color are they? I mean, most of us, most of us, our brows are much darker than our hair. I see this in so many blondes. Blondes are going out there and they're buying pencils that are way too warm and way too light. And whenever you do that, it looks like makeup. I want you to match your brow hair color. When you do that, it will look like brow hairs. We're not just filling in our brows anymore. We're doing our technique where you're applying just hair-like strokes only where you need in these little areas. Talking about Michelle Yeoh. I do think that black would look good with her as well, but in this picture, you can see that she has some warmth to it, and that's what I'm talking about. Brown black has a little bit of warmth and is also dark, but again, please, it's not too dark because we're not sharpening our print in our brows, we're doing hair-like strokes. So Michelle Yeoh. Also, Cindy Crawford and her daughter, both nice, rich, darker brows with a little bit of warmth to them. Here also you'll see Beyonce. I think Beyonce in this photo has nice, warm, more so warm and honey to her brows, but also I think that black would be a good brow product for her as well. So it depends. Are you wanting to pull more ash from your brows, or are you wanting to pull more warmth? Talking also about Jessica Biel. In this photo, I do think that brown black would suit her best, but I also think, again, black could go well. I did notice that she has some warmth in her brows, so maybe that's what she likes, but also maybe that is older microblading that has pulled more warmth to it. If you have a microblading and it is now looking more orange, I suggest you moving towards black to counteract that warmth, to get it to be more balancing and neutral. All right, now we're gonna talk about my favorite brow pencil color is black. Yes, next time I manufacture these brow products, I will be renaming the name. I had no idea how terrified y'all would be to try black in your brows. I get it because I see clients every day and their brow hair colors are black. I did not create Sharpies, guys. I did not create Sharpies where you would just be putting in a black Sharpie and your brows would look awful. Black is a neutral, darker pencil color. That's all it is. We're not going to town and just filling in our brows willy-nilly. We're adding hair-like strokes. Even if I were to take the black pencil and fill in all of the hairs that I do have, it still wouldn't look too dark and give me crazy Sharpie brows. So we need to understand, look at your brow hair colors. If they are neutral and dark, please try our black, and I really do think you'll be happy with it. So who is black? Lily Gladstone. She's a great option for this because, again, there's no warmth to them and they're dark. Also, Naomi Campbell. Again, no warmth and they're dark, and they're more of the neutral or cool tone brow colors. I do understand now I'm gonna get more into the Caucasian skin tone with black hair colors, because I do find that that's where the upset or hiccups are coming in, is a lot of our blondes or light head hair color, they're going for a taupe or they're going for an ash brown, but their brow hairs are black. And whenever you add, again, the pencil color that doesn't match your hair color, it's gonna look like makeup. So these are perfect examples. Margot Robbie, light skin, blonde hair, black eyebrow color. When you are applying the hair-like strokes, it's going to look like hair. If she's going to use a lighter or a warmth brow pencil, it's gonna pull way too warm and it's gonna look like makeup. Also, Anne Hathaway, her brows are black. She's gonna use a black pencil. That would look the best and most natural. Also, again, I don't recommend just filling in with any of these pencils. So we're applying just right here underneath and where we're lacking to balance and even out your brows. If you're applying too light of a color where you're lacking, it's not gonna match. Also, best example I think is Kate Winslet. So fair, she is a strawberry blonde and her brows are black, and look how beautiful it looks. It looks stunning. I mean, I can go off on so many others. Another favorite of mine is Kate Upton. Beautiful blonde, dark brows. Don't be afraid to use the color of your brow hair colors.